Hello, welcome to Sunday the 26th of June 2022, 6:17 p.m. Still have no proper internet access, but I do have this fluffy owl, Jessica, named after a poet, and she did know it. Something a little sharp there. What have you been eating, Jessica? So yeah, I started and finished Dragon Ball Z Volume 2 today. Yesterday or the day before, I think yesterday I read Volume 15 of Dragon Ball Super, and about a week ago I read Dr. Stone, a manga which was completely new to me, but I quite enjoyed reading. What about you, Jessica? Did you enjoy it? Oh, I forgot you're an inanimate object, you cannot voice an opinion. I just love how fluffy this is. I bought this from Aldi for $24.99, so it's very expensive. But it's supposed to be like a cushion, marketed at children, I think, because there was some tag that says something about helping children develop their awareness of the world, because apparently owls look like this, they're slumped with their stomach sticking out. I mean, that's incorrect anatomy, that's not educational, that's disgraceful. They're going to develop an skewed view of how to interact with animals, but yeah, it's really soft, it's a really nice teddy, so yeah, I do keep stroking it, but yeah, it's quite expensive, but it is nice. It is, it does have some value to it. Quite nice, and I might actually try lying. I've never tried actually using it as a cushion, so I might try lying on this later. See how comfy it is. Yeah, I think that could be a little comfy. I think, or even just to sit on. The bottom is this kind of typical cushiony bottom, but yeah, it's really nice and soft. So anyway, let's put you down. Let's put you up here, Jessica, so you can, so I can watch it. So yeah, I just finished reading Volume 2. Obviously, I'm familiar with the overall story, the manga, the anime. I started watching Dragon Ball Z when I was a child, so I'm a massive fan, and it's been integral to my development in multiple ways, inspired me in different ways, and yeah, it's such a great franchise. But I've still got to collect all of the Dragon Ball Z manga volumes and all of the Dragon Ball volumes, so when I was at Forbidden Planet the other week, last week I believe, or on Sunday now, so it's kind of, well, Sunday's the last day of the week. Some people like to count Sunday as the first day of the week. It is interesting to, I always hesitate whether to see it as the first day or the last day, but say Sunday's the last day. I mean, it was Thursday, it's not Thursday just gone, but the Thursday before, when I was at the select committee hearing to discuss HP housing and content housing, the council. After the meeting, I went to Forbidden Planet to treat myself, and ended up getting some manga. So they had the 3 for 2 offer on. I still have one more sticker to remove. 3 for 2 offer. So you're always worried about scratching and damage. Thankfully, my nails are pretty short, so kind of might help. Actually, that could make it hard. She might end up slipping and scratching. Yes, I bought Dr. Stone Volume 1, Volume 2 Dragon Ball Z, as I said, and Volume 15 Dragon Ball Super. So I think I still do not have all of the volumes as Dragon Ball Super volumes. I'm missing some of the earlier chapters, but all of the more recent volumes I do believe I have, so I can have a coherent narrative developing. But yeah, so this ends the Morrow arc and starts the Granola the Survivor arc, and this volume In Japan, they are about to wrap up the Granola the Survivor arc, if they've not already, and so they will be starting a new arc, and we are barely getting started on the Granola arc. When does volume 16? Oh, I have no it's so instinctive that I'm talking about something. Let's Google. I have no internet access. When my phone is charged, I'll see if I can get 4G on my phone. But gosh, this is so bothersome. So I cannot check, but maybe someone can tell me when I finish, when I finally am able to upload this. But then by then I should have figured it out. May even have purchased it. From what I remember, I think one volume is being released in September. It's a US, that's US, but I think UK as well. I think we may get one more before around June, July. I mean, June is almost over, so if it is not out, if it was not released this month, then I guess July, volume 16, if volume 16 is not out already, is volume 16 out? I'm so confused. No, I think we're getting about 3 volumes a year, so I think maybe July we'll be getting something, and then around September, October, from what I remember reading on the Wikipedia page, so it will be a while to have all of these volumes translated and released. So it is interesting to compare as well the Dragon Ball Super manga to the Dragon Ball Z manga. So obviously this is by Akira Toriyama. Obviously he also had editors. This is by Toyo Taro. I always wonder if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Toyo Taro, who very faithfully recreates the Dragon Ball universe, and I like the extra snippets you get in manga. Like in Dragon Ball Super, he mentions corrections. Sometimes he has trouble drawing. Maybe it is Goku frowning or something, and it says that he talks about how Akira Toriyama has guided him to correct his early interpretation. I find that really interesting. Interesting. We've got a rated teen for Dragon Ball Super, and we've got a rated all ages for Dragon Ball Z. That's interesting, considering Piccolo was threatening to kill Gohan so many times. It is considered tame. This was, I think, the 18th print. Am I thinking of something else I was reading yesterday? First print in March 2003, 18th print in May 2021. So this is a very modern printing. Did I say the printing for Dragon Ball Super? First print in January 2022. Yeah, this is the first print. Printed in the USA, so this is straight from the USA. This is the US edition. I mean the covers are vibrant and slightly different style, stylistic differences you can see. But both colours are vibrant and classic manga panels. Fast flowing action, and it's all you get a sense of tension. Obviously I've watched the Seiyan arc so many times, and I've read the manga panels online and things, but you still get a sense of tension even though you know how the story ends. Both mangas are very well put together. Everything is very it's a very good value for money. The one where I was unsure of what my impression would be, Dr. Stone, because I needed to, in order to activate the 3-for-2 offer at Forbidden Planet, I needed a third book. It stands to reason. I could not remember precisely which earlier chapters of Dragon Ball Super I did not have, and I was pretty sure I had all the chapters that they had in stock. And Dragon Ball Z, they only had Volume 1, which I have, Volume 2, and I think they had no more volumes. So I could have asked if they had any outs back, and I'm sure they would have done. But I thought, try something new. So I tried this Dr. Stone manga, which, let's give you a quick view. So you've got some quite darker inking, action-packed scenes, and But basically the premise is there are these sort of high school students, maybe almost universities, kind of school age I think, and teenage children, and it starts off almost serene, typical sort of peaceful, the peace before the calamity. They're enjoying their taunting of one another. Someone has a crush on someone, and you're wondering how that is going to go. And then suddenly, I think during the break time, just as someone's about to let this girl know how he feels about her, everyone is turned into stone. And then I think it's thousands of years later, two people start to awaken, and they have to work out how to survive in this new world. So it is a survivalist manga, with action as well, a little adventure maybe. But yeah, I thought it was good. It was quite different in some ways, and yeah, I would be interested to see how the later volumes handle their main characters, because the characters are quite varied, so I'd like to believe that balance would continue, that there would be a sort of nice, I suppose because the cast is quite small, at least until they revive more people, it would be nice to see a sort of casual flickering from one character to the other, rather than one central main character, but a group of main characters sort of having equal showtime, because that is what goes on in volume 1. I know it's setting up the whole story, but the setup is you flick, but you flick from the you dart away from the goofy innocent man to the scientist, to the girl who's just been revived, to this man who was revived before her. There is a nice sort of flicking back and forth. I did read online back in the olden days when I had internet access. I keep taunting myself by thinking about when I had internet access. I did read sort of how the story ends pretty much, but I'm still interested to read the manga, so that is a good sign. I'm interested to, you can kind of guess how it is going to end unless there is a really good twist, that the main issue is going to be resolved in some way, but so yeah, and I've not read all the bits, all the middle, what happens in the middle. If I did, I have forgotten already. So I'm tempted to perhaps buy the other volumes sometime in the future. I certainly do not have the money right now, but in the future maybe I would be tempted. So yeah, it's always good to stick with the familiar and also stick with the unknown. Always see what is new, what you may not normally pick up or you may be attracted to. So I saw the cover and I thought, well, this is unknown. I've no idea what this will be like. I had a quick flick through. And also I thought, yeah, there's some survivalist theme going on here. Dr. Stone, there's some sort of not primeval, but he's, I don't know, maybe he's thrown back to the age of the dinosaurs. So although that was a little off, in a way that was correct, in that he was brought to a primitive existence. So that's what I was thinking of. So in this book alone, there was both the unknown. I was getting a sense of what the book was about due to the cover, and obviously that is their intention. But I was also getting, a sense of the unknown. But I have no idea what this manga is. Is it any good? And obviously everything is good. I'm always appreciating people's art, so it would not be horrible. There would be something good in it. But I mean, would I really enjoy it? Would it challenge me intellectually? Would it excite me? Are there good action scenes? Are there what is it about? And it has quite a bit of sort of scientific knowledge and as well as quirkiness. So I think I would recommend actually give it a go. And if you think it may excite you, but most importantly, if you think it would not excite you, because it is important to challenge yourself. Get your brain thinking, get your brain not just engaging with the familiar, but with the unfamiliar. Think, if you see this and think, no, that is not my kind of thing, then this definitely is your kind of thing. You need to challenge yourself and try something new, and that gets your brain growing, your mind growing as well. Both, it gets you thinking, it gets you developing new ideas, and so yeah, manga. Now comics. So I've now read all of the comics. I purchased them from Forbidden Planets the same time I purchased the manga books, and the trading cards I also purchased. So Batman Detective Comics 1059. So I was reading up that they started the volume number. They reset the volume number, then they continued again, just so they could hit the 1,000 mark probably. They went back to the old count, so that's hence why we now have 1059, such a high number. So this was Batman Detective Comics. There were two stories. We've got a Gotham Girl. Gotham Girl was the least interesting, which is not insulting to Gotham Girl. I mean, the first story features Batman directly, so can anyone compete against Batman? So it's not that Gotham Girl is at the bottom, it's just that Batman is so high up, and you may say that it's the same thing, but they're not quite the same thing. It's not pushing Gotham Girl down, but saying Batman is so incredible. He outshines everyone, his towers outshine everyone, but no, the Flashpoint Beyond references. But the Gotham Girl, as I say, you challenge yourself. I had really no idea who this Gotham Girl was. I mean, I must have seen the name somewhere on the Wikipedia page or something, but as I'm always researching characters, or I was when I had internet access, which I like to keep bringing up, but I no longer have internet access. It was interesting. It was interesting. There was a cameo from Batman at some point, but no, it was good. It was not bad at all. Got more brighter colours to contrast with Batman's broodier colours in the more mature colouring in the Batman section. But no, both are good, and it's good to cater for different audiences. But I'm sure I could get into Gotham Girl as well. So I was more just trying to figure out who she was, who is this Gotham Girl, and what does she stand for, what's going on. So it's a very sort of teenage thing. Yes, she's going through her emotions. It's may appeal particularly to teenagers, but I'm sure anyone could enjoy it. There are some mature things within the Gotham Girl. And Batman, as I said earlier, do I need to introduce? You've got brilliant art, you have classic storylines, you have the Riddler causing trouble, so yeah, that was definitely money well spent. Cost me a little under £5, I think it was £4.35. Stray Dogs 2, very silky cover. There's a sort of, not letters page, but a sort of farewell at the end, and I was most confused because I could not work out whether this was the last volume or not. They've got photos of actual dogs, and they seem to be saying goodbye, but then there's there was sort of I'm so confused, sort of reference to another volume or something. But anyway, basically dogs have been kidnapped and I believe slaughtered. It's not, especially if you have a dog, it is not a charming tale. It's very and it's funny, as soon I was thinking All Dogs Go to Heaven at some point. When I saw that dog, I thought that dog is from All Dogs Go to Heaven, and if you look at some of the art, it's very much like All Dogs Go to Heaven. So I'm not sure if it has some of the same artists or what, but somewhere even said that it is like, there we go, yeah, Forbes. What do you get when you crossbreed Silence of the Lambs with All Dogs Go to Heaven? Well, you get stray dogs. And as I was looking at the art, I thought this is All Dogs Go to Heaven, isn't it? And the sort of doom, dogs being slaughtered, and yet finding peace in an afterlife. This is very much like All Dogs Go to Heaven. I mean, just look at those dogs. But yeah, it was interesting. So you sort of you get very much a dog's perspective. You hear their thoughts or even speech. But there's a lot of tragedy. So I really need to discover more of the story to try and understand what is. I mean, it's obvious what is going on. It's not a complex story, but what I mean is, this was my first dive into this world, and I was so. I had so many different ideas just based upon the cover. You know, what are the dogs murdering people? I mean, clearly you can see anxiety and fear. The dog is right; that they will be next. But I was very curious to see what would happen. It seems interesting. And then there's something called crosshairs. Look, even though that is a rabbit and not a hare. So, but there are crosshairs. So there's like a rabbit version to Stray Dogs. So it's a quirky sort of book, definitely. Batman '89, Catwoman. You can see on the front. You've got you have sort of more fast-paced action in comparison to the Batman strip in Detective Comics. This is more fast-paced with Batman at his sidekick. Alfred is still very much present. And was it all one story? Yeah, it was all one story, which was good. And it was good to have the both. It's nice having a mix, a comic where you get two or more stories, and a comic where you get just one story. So they both have their advantages and disadvantages. It is nice to mix things up. Batman the Imposter has been advertised. So you have Two-Face, good old Two-Face, and Gordon being kidnapped. That was a good story too. And you have this guy to Flashpoint Beyond. So I enjoyed that as well. So I enjoy them all. They're all so different. I mean, Alien. This is the Marvel 11 variant edition. So you jump straight into the action, basically aliens slaughtering people. If you're familiar with the franchise, I'm sure you know, and how they gestate alien babies inside people. There's betrayal, people being slaughtered. That advertisement for Savage Avengers, that really had me curious. That seems like a very interesting read. You've got basically ending on a cliffhanger. Will they make it out alive or not? So you get a sense of the. This was the first time reading that was the first time reading an Alien comic, I do believe, and you get a sense of the characters quite easily. Clone. This was basically a Batman clone, but there is more to it. I think there is a mystery of some sort. But yeah, you keep thinking Batman. This guy is obviously a Joker clone. There is a mystery of some sort. So I am intrigued actually to find out what happens next. I would like to read the other volumes. You've got some very brutal scenes, so some blood and gore. So I enjoyed them all. They're all very different. Just like with the manga books, and they all have their different attractions and challenge you in different ways and appeal to different people in different ways. Alien was quite fast flowing. Batman '89 was pretty fast flowing, and Stray Dogs was, I suppose, slower paced. This is volume 2, and it was as though they were still selling many things up. Not selling things up more, but there was a sort of casual pacing. Cloak and Batman Detective Comics, they were pretty similar in terms of pacing, I guess, and then they're gritty North storylines. So the Batman Detective Comics I purchased, as I say, for £4.35, and the other 4 comics were essentially 50p each, because Forbidden Planet had a grab bag, so that's So that was really cool. So 50 pence for a comic, that's amazing. So yeah, and the mystery, because you cannot see the comics that are wedged between the comic on the back and the comic on the front. So 2 comics are going to be mysteries. So that's the excitement. And as I, have so few comics really compared to how many millions upon millions there are. I'm pretty much guaranteed to get a comic I've never even touched before, never even heard of often. So, yeah, I mean, look, you've got in one grab bag, you've got Batman, Cloaked, Stray Dogs, and Alien. So, Marvel and DC and Dark Horse, all in one bag. And who posted? Oh, Image Publishing for Stray Dogs. Yeah. So I hope I will be able to get some more grab bags at some point. And maybe when I next go to the coach station, I could, or it'd have to, because Forbidden Planet closes at 5, I believe they close pretty early, so it'd have to be an earlyish coach. And I could buy a couple of grab bags and I could read on the coach. That would be a good experience to dive into. But yeah, hopefully next time I might get a Transformers comic, because there are so many Transformers comics and they're very well written and very well drawn. So I'd like to get some Transformers comics. That would be good. Yeah, I'm not sure if there are any Transformers comics still going. They have made many modern ones, as well as the classic variants. If I had internet access I could check, but unfortunately I do not. Unless my phone is charged, then I can try, because I tried setting up a hotspot, but I think because my 4G connection is almost as bad as Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi is non-existent. It died sometime last week. It's never come back. So but the 4G was the same, but then it slowly improved. Today it has been patchy at times, but I've actually been able to connect. But I activated the. Why is there the lights glowing? I activated the hotspot feature in a bid to get my laptop connected, and there's nothing. It says connected but no internet. So I don't know what is going on. But basically the internet does not like me of late. No internet secured, yeah. I'll give you no internet. So yeah, I'm going to stop recording for a bit. This was 26th of June 2022. It is 6:45 PM, and this was a brief rundown of some comics I purchased from Forbidden Planet at Bull Street, Central Birmingham. 4 comics for £2, 50 pence each. Batman Detective Comics for £4.35. 3 manga volumes, £7.99 each, but the cheapest was free because of the 3 for 2 offer. So basically £16 for 3 books, so that's not too bad, just a little over £5 each. So yeah, that's that's really good. So thank you for watching, and enjoy your day.